Hello again, you fine bunch of people. Thanks very much for joining me once again. It's Stevo here, aka the Running Englishman, simply here to inspire you to be the best and fittest versions of yourself. Because if I can do it, I know that you can too. So today I just want to do a quick talk about my marathon training update. What have I been doing? Has it been working? Don't go anywhere. Let's talk about it. So, before I waffle on about all the marathon training, woke up to a nice surprise this morning that the channel has gone up to 500 subscribers. Absolute madness, where's that come from? I'm really happy with that, and I'm really grateful for all the people that have taken their time to have a look. This whole time it's always been about trying to get people to go out, just a little bit of inspiration for people like myself, you know, that didn't have a clue about running at the start, to get out there and try and get fit. And to think that 500 people have had a look on there and sort of subscribed to watch the journey, and I'm in hope that I've got a few people to go out there and just take up running, and that fills me with a lot of joy. And I've heard that some people in our town as well that have seen the channel and have come up to me and said that they've started running because of it and have picked up their running a bit more. So that absolutely makes me feel great, and that's what the whole thing's been about, because I know how much that's changed my life and improved my life, and it's a great feeling, and I want all you guys and gals to feel the same way too. So I'll move on quick. Today's video is a short one, hopefully, about my recent marathon training efforts since finding my own personal heart rate zones. If you haven't found your own personal heart rate zones yet and you're interested in doing that, go back and watch my recent series of all about heart rate, and maybe start to put yours into practice. So I can tell you how to do it and why I think it's important to do so. So since sorting out and calculating my own heart rate zones, I found the general area where I want to be doing the 80% portion of my workouts. The two tests that I conducted were a threshold test, explained in another video how you do that, and the max heart rate test, in which then you can use to work out your heart rate reserve. During both of those tests, they both calculated that the top end of my easy running zone, so where I spend the most time of my training, at about the heart rate of 151 and 152. This area does feel good. It feels comfortable and easy and talkable for the majority of the time. Occasionally it does feel a little bit tough if you've got a slight incline. So I'm happy to run around 159 to 150 beats per minute. If it sneaks up 1 or 2 and I'm on a slight incline, I'll know that I'm still within the range that I've been given. For the 20% portion of my training, I like to do intervals, tempo runs, time trials, and you like to do that in sort of zone 4 and zone 5 once you've worked out your zones. That seems to give you a lovely boost to all the aerobic work that you're doing. So even with the newborn baby Lorelei in the house, who's only 4 weeks old, I'm still managing to get 4 runs a week in. I'm not sure quite how I'm managing that. My wife must be screaming inside. I'm not sure how long it will go on for, so I'm going to make the most of it whilst I can. But for the minute, I'm trying to do sort of 30 miles per week on foot. One of them being a long run on a Tuesday, that's my day off. I can do sort of between 10 and 15 miles on that. I've got 2 medium runs at various times, one early in the morning, one late at night, so say 7 or 8 miles or whichever. And then I'll do 1 fast session on a Saturday. I've also at the moment incorporated some indoor cycling. I'll do that way below the aerobic threshold just to add some extra aerobic miles to my total time. I'll try and do all those things whilst in the middle of trying to eat healthy where I can. I must admit, I do like a treat, and I do probably do that every day, but I like to keep the meals I have sort of as healthy as I can, and I try and keep my calorie intake below 2,200 a day, so below the average of what they tell an adult male to have. Sleep does seem to be a bit of an issue at the moment. As you can imagine, some days I'm only getting 5 hours sleep. There's been less, there's been more. It's a bit random, but it all comes as part of the package of having a newborn baby in the house. But what I'm doing is, it feels like I could hopefully start to get some progress. So speaking of which, so how has this new way of training helped my performance, or has it got better? Has it got worse? How is my body feeling, and is it recovering properly? My first month has actually seen good progress, and it feels like I've knocked about 20 seconds off per mile already at the same sort of heart rate. Maybe I'll try and find a couple of examples I'll put on the screen now. And that's all with the heart rate around 149. The stats actually feel like they make for good reading. My resting heart rate is starting to drop. During my math, where I was getting a bit stale around Christmas time, I couldn't get my heart rate down for my resting heart rate, and it was so high, and I'm not sure why. But it has recently started to drop, and it's down to like 51, 52 and 50, and the other day 48. So it's really starting to take hold now, and the fitness is starting to kick in. Best thing about it is my body feels like it's recovering properly, just like when I was doing math and doing the low heart rate training before. There's no difference there. It's not like there's no signs of me overdoing it, and my body feels fresh and ready for the next workout every single time so far. So yeah, the week just before this one, I've been on a down week this week, but the week just before that, I've managed to knock out my first ever 40-mile week. You know, that might not sound massive to you, but that's a pretty big deal for myself. The difference being that I was allowed to let loose a little bit. I was able to meet a friend. I had already done my long run on the Tuesday, and I met a friend on the Sunday, and we just done another long run just because we could. It felt good. The restrictions aren't keeping the pace so slow that people don't want to run with you now. You can sort of go and join in with them. I forgot how good a social run was, to just go out with your friends and chat on the way around. And going around chatting with them was making sure that you wasn't overdoing it and stuff. And we ended up banging out 17 miles, which is just ridiculous. I didn't even know we had that in the tank as the farthest any of us have run, but that just shows the progress that's been made in that short time, and it just felt right to go and do so. And that felt like we took a huge step in being able to do a full marathon, which is the dream for us one day, and hopefully not too far around the corner now. I know it's a long 17 miles, is well short of what a marathon is, but we definitely had a bit left in our legs to go a little bit further, and that's all to do with all the low heart rate training we've been doing. It's so highly recommended that you just build the base, and once you've got a good foundation like that, you can start to do the running like I'm doing now and build yourself up to be able to manage those sort of distances. And just one more thing I want to note before I wrap this video up, it feels, because I'm able to run a little bit faster, it's not a huge difference, but say I'm running like 8:20s now rather than 9:20, so a minute per mile is quite a difference. But that's going to happen because I'm running at a higher heart rate. But it just feels more flowing now. Like we could have went on longer and longer the other day at 17 miles, which is not healthy to do so. But I feel like if I would have been running 17 miles at Maff, for some reason it did hurt my legs. Like the slower the effort, the more it seemed to hurt my legs. Like we all must be different. Like, I'm sure that you're all going to say that if you do a Maff run, you'll probably be able to make it to the end of a marathon. But for me, it felt more natural to go that little bit faster, staying in my aerobic range, than it did running slower. It's just the more of a flow of it. It's less painful on my calves and my legs. And like I say, that might just be me, but that's just one thing I've found since being able to pick up the pace on this new way of training in my heart rate zones. Okay, that's really it for me today. It's a nice short video, hopefully I ain't counted, but yeah, it's just a quick training update. I'm really happy with the changes I've made so far, no regrets whatsoever. I've always said I'll do this honestly. If things start going bellies up or start getting overtrained and all that sort of stuff, you'll be the first to know. I'm not going to come on here pretending that I've made all the right decisions on it, but at the moment the signs are good, and it is early days, and we'll see what the stats say in a month's time when I know a bit more about it. But early signs is that I'm getting a bit faster, I'm feeling good, I'm not overtrained, heart rate's getting lower. My Garmin's saying that I'm in peak fitness. I'll put a photo on the side there. I've never seen that before. It says you're in peak fitness, ready for racing. And my VO2 max has gone up to 55, so I'll also put a picture there. That seems to have creeped up to 55 after being around 51 around Christmas time, so all the signs are there saying it's going well. So I'm going to stick to doing that for a little while, and then I'll report back in a month's time or so. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Keep doing what you're doing. If you fancy a change, watch back my old videos, work out your zones, go from there. And I look forward to speaking to you on the next one. So hit the subscribe button, Instagram, all those things, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Stevo.